Yo, YouTube, reacting to the most painful motorcycle deaths ever. Oh, hold on.
Into the face incident.
The face
In the
incident.
summer of 2021, on a remote highway in Turkey, a young man
Turkey?
deeply in love with his motorcycle woke up to a nice sunny day and decided that it was the best time to take his bike out for a spin. A nice leather jacket with protective boots, gloves, and a helmet was what
W
this man
helmet.
quickly threw on before going out for the
You're a
ride.
W safety man. I like
Just
that
kidding,
helmet from you.
he decided that he didn't want to wear any of that since it's a hot summer day. But on the bright side, at least he decided to keep his helmet on, right?
Of course
After
he
making
didn't.
sure that he was wearing no protective gear at all, this rider would then take his sport bike for a nice calm ride of 120 miles per hour.
Oh, wow.
After hitting the highways, the rider couldn't contain himself and began speeding as fast as possible on his bike. However, unbeknownst to him, a steep turn with a guardrail would appear on the highway out of nowhere. Unable to correct his path in time, he was flung from the bike and hurled face first into the corner of a steel guardrail. The impact was so violent
Okay.
that it completely removed the entire front of his head and
Oh,
face.
wow.
His eyes, nose, jaw, and facial skin were instantly torn away, leaving only the
Jeez.
back of his skull intact. Bystanders who arrived moments later could hardly process what they were seeing. It looked less like an accident and more like a war zone. They searched for his body,
Jesus.
and upon a glimpse, were instantly traumatized since it didn't really look like a human anymore. Bystanders did what they could, but unfortunately,
That
he never
is
had a chance.
one way to start off this video, huh?
Emergency responders pronounced him unresponsive at the scene.
Makes sense. The pole incident.
This next situation
That
occurred
never
just
sounds
past
good.
midnight on April 1st, 2025. in
Tell me
Phuket,
that was-
Thailand.
They're
The
telling me
streets
there's
were mostly
worse
empty.
than the first one because it was only on Match Tough. Tell me it gets all. What's the worst? What's
The
gonna be
air
the
was
last
heavy,
one?
And it was the kind of night that felt slower than it actually was. But not for one guy. This rider was flying down Bypass Road on a red and
Oh my
white
god, I'm
Honda
driving a
Force.
motorcycle right now. Holy
Probably
shit!
just out for a ride, maybe trying to clear his head, maybe just
Holy
pushing
shit,
the
I'm going
throttle for the thrill of it.
100 miles per hour. I'm
Whatever
up
the
him.
reason, he was
Oh.
moving fast, very fast. Then, in a split second, everything went wrong. He lost control of the bike, and with no time to correct and no time to react, he slammed straight into an electricity pole.
Oh,
The crash
yeah,
wasn't just
that's
bad,
great.
it was horrific. The impact was so violent
Jesus.
that it cut his body in half. His
Oh.
upper half was found under the pole. His lower half thrown almost 200 feet down the road.
Oh
His
my
heart and
god.
organs were scattered across the scene, and somehow his helmet was still on, but it didn't save him.
Fuck.
Not from
Yeah, I'm not
They later
surprised.
confirmed he was a Russian national. They never released his name and just let his story
Oh, that's
be
his
another
bike.
painful
Is that
reminder of
cheese?
how unforgiving speed can be. You always think it won't happen to you until it does.
Yeah.
The haircut
I don't think I even had time to think that was happening to
In
him.
Manacapuru, Brazil, a small riverside
Brazil.
town that doesn't usually make international headlines would go viral for once, but for all the wrong reasons.
The haircut.
A man was
incident.
riding his motorcycle through the city streets, and from the looks of it, he wasn't really going slow. While another biker was trying to make a left turn, the man unknowingly would get into a head-on collision with him, and the crash would be so forceful that it would launch him right off of his bike, straight onto his head. And surprisingly, the accident wasn't too detrimental. He only
Really?
suffered a couple of cuts and sprains to his body.
Oh.
That's what I would say if he was wearing a helmet. But once
Oh.
again, this rider decided to ride without one. So, instead, when he crashed and landed on his head, the force of the impact was so intense that it ripped the skin right off his scalp.
Oh.
It wasn't just a cut or a gash. His scalp was completely peeled back,
Oh.
exposing raw bone. And when I say raw bone, I literally mean that his skull, muscle, and the whole
No, that's happened to me once. Got a cut right here. I think my parents said they saw my bone. I'm not sure now. Yeah, I don't know about this now. Jesus, oh God.
horrifying anatomy of a human head were exposed to the world. A lot of people were confused by the bizarre nature of the accident and couldn't really understand how it could happen to a person. But, horrifyingly enough, it happens a lot.
Yeah,
The
I'm not
injury is
surprised.
called degloving.
Degloving.
Imagine the skin on your body being torn off like a glove.
Oh,
Probably
gosh.
not the best thing to imagine,
Yeah.
but that's what doctors describe it as, and that's what happened to this man. The fire
Video
truck
footage
incident.
of it?
On the 15
Man,
freeway
I do not
in
wanna watch
Rancho
that.
Cucamonga, California, a routine night drive turned into a deadly inferno, and it all started with a motorcyclist and a semi-truck. The exact reason isn't clear. No one knows if the biker swerved, miscalculated, or just didn't see the truck coming. But what we do
Wait,
know
what?
is that he collided with the big rig
The
at freeway
fire
speed,
truck
which is anywhere from 65 to 85 miles per an hour, and the impact was devastating.
Oh!
As if smashing into a semi-truck on a motorcycle isn't already bad enough, the biker would be trapped underneath the vehicle while its diesel leaked out of its fuel tank. And unfortunately for him, the sparks from the accident would light both his motorcycle and the 30,000-pound semi-truck up in a blaze. The truck driver was quick enough to escape, but once again, because the biker was trapped, he was engulfed in what would be known as one of the biggest fires the freeway had seen in years. This fire was so big that it took 3 fire engines to try to control the blaze, and the highway was shut down for hours. When they finally arrived at his body, they immediately called it the sign incident. In Thailand, sometime around 2019, on a highway just outside of Bangkok, where traffic moves fast and helmet laws are, let's say, loosely followed, a guy, once again, not wearing a helmet, was riding his motorcycle at a high rate of speed, zooming in and out of traffic. While going down the road, his bike would randomly hit a pothole, and his attempt to avoid it would be where things went horribly wrong. He heavily swerved and got launched off his bike so forcefully that it'd throw him airborne and he'd go flying for a few seconds. Which actually sounds kind of fun, because bouncing and flying around in a controlled area is usually a fun experience. Whether you've done bungee jumping, skydiving, or have randomly experienced flying in your dreams, I'd say it's a pretty enjoyable thing. Just not when you go flying headfirst into a road sign, which is what happened to this guy. He was flung so hard at the road sign that it perfectly decapitated his head and left his body continuing on with its momentum. And disturbingly, his head actually hit the sign so hard that it became stuck to it. The scene was so brutal that it even traumatized seasoned first responders. And obviously, sadly, he passed away. The paper incident. In late 2015,
what is worse than this?
Shenzhen, or Guangzhou, a busy Chinese city, was on his way to work when he stumbled across heavy traffic and a very large cement mixing truck on the road. As is common in densely populated urban cities, he began lane splitting in between traffic to get through the cars. Funnily enough, this is actually a good thing for most bikers to do, as lane splitting lessens congested traffic and heavily reduces the risk of motorcycles getting rear-ended by cars that don't see them. So this rider gets a gold star for practicing smart riding. Ironically, however, when the light turned green, he accidentally dropped his bike and fell off of it right in front of that ginormous cement mixing truck. Panic exploded out from bystanders, and they would all try to get the trucker to stop driving, but by the time he had even noticed he rode over anything, it was already too late. All 12 wheels of the 30,000-pound truck trampled over his body. The rider wasn't just crushed, he was effectively flattened into the road's pavement.
That's why you called him
paper. Responders described his body as being no thicker than a sheet of paper on the road.
Jesus.
City sanitation workers and police disturbingly had to resort to using shovels to scrape his body off the road and put it into a dustpan.
Nah, you gotta be as good as hell to be cleaning that, bro.
I don't really know why you like traumatizing yourself with stories like these.
Neither do I.
Have a happy day.
You know what, man? You too. That was a good video. That was bad, though. Jesus. Yo, imagine being there and seeing that, like... Imagine, like, yo, oh my god. Imagine seeing the one that got stuck to the sign. Just seen his head. Like, he literally got decapitated. That was bad.